everyone doing today? Uh, we're just gonna take a little bit of time to get situated and chat, and then I'll get to showing you guys the security footage. I'm still using my get to showing you guys the. I'm still using my. Should I not have this light on? I don't know if that's any better. I'm still using my old phone to live stream with. I did buy a Pixel 5, but the Wi-Fi just disconnects on it all the time. So say hi in the chat if you're here, so I know I'm just not talking to no one. That's always the weird thing about live streams. It's like I don't know who I'm talking to. Four people. All right, so we'll get started. I'll get started on everything that happened today. So I'm outside shoveling snow in the driveway, cleaning out the snow on the driveway and everything. And my neighbors, I know I've talked to you guys about them in the past. Like my one neighbor is like, this is what he says. He says that he's a Latin king. That what's up, the pothead? How you doing? Thanks for the thumbs up and heart. He says that he's a Latin king and that he was in jail for murder and burglary. I don't know if he just says that to intimidate people or what, but there is a court case that I found online like a couple months ago of that exact thing happening. The thing though is that he would have been like 11 years old at the time that happened. What happened that incident is him and a couple buddies broke into some guy's house because they knew that he stored money there. Broke into his house and didn't expect him to be home. He ended up being home and started defending himself. So then like him and his buddy grabbed a spark plug wire and choked the guy to death. So there's all this stuff. Like I already know that my neighbors are not nice people and use violence and intimidation and all that stuff. I don't want to get the race thing involved, but he's Hispanic and that's where the Latin King thing comes from. Then my neighbors next door, they're also like black and Hispanic, and they a couple weeks ago one or two of them or something got a I have security camera footage of this too, but I don't think it's really important to show in this video. But they were getting a taxi ride home, and as soon as the taxi pulled up to their house, they're like yelling at the taxi cab driver about like, oh, you should have made a left instead of a right, like you cost me like 20 cents extra in fees or whatever. And then they all started surrounding, and it's like this big like 300-pound white guy taxi cab driver. I'm cooking meatloaf. I have to go turn the oven back on. The timer just went off. But they start like surrounding him and everything. So then this guy goes and punches him as one of the guys is lunging towards him. This guy goes and punches him, and the taxi cab driver goes to punch him to like defend himself, and the police were called and everything. Like as soon as that guy punched him, then all of them swarmed all over on top of the taxi cab driver. Police were called, the police came to the house, police didn't arrest them, didn't do anything. I didn't show my security camera footage, like I wasn't interviewed or anything, but I didn't show my security camera footage in that instance because I was afraid of like retaliation from my neighbors. Like obviously if they see like the security camera footage, they're gonna know it's from me and from my house and everything. And I also thought that the taxi cab driver, like they have cameras in the taxi, but I really should like reach out to them. So anyway, to see if they need footage or whatever. Anyway, today I'm shoveling my driveway, and we'll switch to the security camera footage. But I think like I probably would have got like beaten real bad if if I didn't pull my knife out. Well, it's hard to say, but all right. So here's security camera footage. What time? Let me just get you guys a little bit closer here. So this is at it's at 1:35, and I'm shoveling and I'm putting snow into this pile right here. And so let me pause this real quick. So the other day too, yesterday I thought it was in my city, but it was in a different city that's like nearby to mine. There were people getting into an argument about shoveling snow, and one guy pulls out a gun and kills the guy and the girl, and then turns the gun on himself and commits suicide. That happened yesterday, and I'm sure it's like a similar situation where what happened here, where some guy is like arguing with me, saying that I'm shoveling snow onto his car and blah blah blah, and then wants to resort to violence. So that's been here. Like, I'm shoveling the snow from my driveway, putting it into a pile right here, and there's a sidewalk right here. There's his car. There's like part of his car right there. I have other camera angles, but this is like the main camera that's important. Yeah, so I'm clearly putting the snow on a pile, not like blocking his car in or anything. And I'll upload this whole video to YouTube in a separate video to this one, because I wanted to do the live stream and tell you guys everything that happened, but I can't add this video to the end of the live stream after the live stream is over. But yeah, there's a pile right here that I'm putting snow on, and I'm the only one who goes outside and shovels and everything. So pile right there, not in front of their car. I'm putting it in front of the telephone pole, and then a pile right here. So I keep doing that. You see that the mound is up to right there, like it's a pretty high mound, but there's a whole like other side of the sidewalk and whatever that more snow can go on without touching his car or getting anywhere near his car. So yeah. So meanwhile, I know he lives in the apartment next to me on the second floor, and there's a balcony on the front porch. Like, while I'm shoveling, I hear him out there. Like, well, first I smell the cigarettes and I'm like, oh, I know that he's out there. So this is me noticing him now. But let me finish before we get to this. So while I was shoveling, I knew that he's on the balcony because I could smell the cigarettes and I can hear him like rustling around up there and everything. So so I'm like, man, he's gonna say something and he's gonna start a fight, because he's always out there. Every time I'm out there, he's out trying to intimidate me and taunting me and all that stuff. So this is when I first noticed, like, you can see my head looking up at the balcony because I just noticed cliffhanger. Let me turn back on my toaster oven so I can cook my meatloaf. I'll bring you guys with me though. I didn't eat at all today, and that's my toilet. So this is when I first noticed, and like, because he's like, dude, don't fucking throw snow on my car. Don't fucking throw snow on my car. So I finally turned to him and like try explaining to him, like, look, like I'm pointing, I'm like, look, snow is going right on this pile, man. It's not going anywhere near your car. And I'm shoveling, like, this is the street right now, but I'm shoveling it out because they don't plow right here. So yeah, I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, leave me alone. I'm not going anywhere near your car. And he knows that. He just wants to bully and threaten, and because that's what they want to do. They want to bully and threaten and run the whole town and whole city and whole block off of bullying and intimidation and all that stuff. Also, in the past, I have this on security camera too. My other neighbor downstairs, I think he was doing something. My neighbor downstairs was doing something at like 3 in the morning or whatever, and so this neighbor. Let me pause this real quick. This neighbor that you're about to see in a minute goes down to his door at 3 in the morning, starts screaming and yelling at him, and lunges at him and to attack him and everything too. Like it's all just ridiculous stuff. 8 people here, and I'll check to see if you guys are commenting in 1 second. So yeah, this went on for like a little bit, and I'm just like, all right, dude, I'm just ignoring you. I'm gonna continue shoveling snow and whatever. Like there's no problem. Like I'm not putting anywhere near your car. I'm not like shoveling him in or anything like that. So then he starts yelling at me. Oh, so this is like where I take my gloves off. But so then he's yelling at me again, and he's threatening like, oh, I'm gonna go damage your car and all this other stuff. And then eventually he's like, all right, I'm coming downstairs. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. You're dead, you piece of shit. And kept saying that like even before he actually like through the whole conversation and everything, he's been making threats and whatever, not just saying like don't put snow on my car or whatever. He's been making threats to kick my ass and all that like the whole time. So yeah, that's when he's coming downstairs and whatever. So this is just recorded on my camera. So here he comes out and he starts coming at me, like screaming and yelling at me. And I just stand there, I guess like a badass now that I look at it. But I'm like, dude, get the hell away from me. So that's where I pull out my knife, because he keeps coming closer to me and he's threatening me to kick my ass and all this shit. And so at this point, he's like, all right, you're going to pull a knife on me? Then watch this. I'm getting something out of my car. So then he goes to his car and I'm standing there. I'm like, what is he going to get? I'm like, dude, do not go into your car. But I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I going to, like, I didn't really know what to do at that point. Like, I didn't want to, like, chase him and stop him from going into his car. Like, I did think, oh, what if he has a gun in his car? Luckily, this guy is an ex-felon, so he can't own a gun. I didn't think about that at the time, but now I realize that. 9 people watching, so thank you for watching. I'll check your comments. Let's see. You in crypto, you make YouTube videos. Do they know I would? This isn't about crypto, so I'll get to. We can talk about that just after I'm done with this. So I'm like, dude, do not go to your car, whatever. So he goes to his car, he keeps going, and he grabs a baseball bat. And at this point, like, so I don't have my pepper spray on me, I don't have my cell phone on me, because I'm just out there shoveling snow. Luckily, my knife is in my waistband all the time, or else I wouldn't have had anything. So he grabs a baseball bat, and I'm like, all right, I have to back away because he has like the distance thing on me, like he has further reach. And I'm like still trying to argue with him, saying like it just doesn't get through his head that I'm not shoveling snow anywhere near his car. So I'm just standing there. I don't have my knife up. I don't have anything like that. Like I'm just standing there. Knife is in my hands and everything. So there you can see like the tip of the baseball bat, and I start backing away. And he's like, dude, put the knife away, put the knife away. And I'm like, all right, I'll put the knife away, but you have to put the baseball bat away. Or I don't know if I said like, you have to put the baseball bat away, but yeah, you can see the baseball bat right there. But I'm like, all right, I have no problem putting the knife away. So, and you can see like I have my hands, I'm up, I'm backing away. There I go, I put the knife away and everything. And he's still yelling at me and screaming at me, this time with the bat. And I just put my hands in my pocket. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm still, for some reason, I still think that I can tell him that 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 dude, there's no snow that I'm throwing on your car. Leave me the hell alone. So now, like, he's still pointing the bat at me, even though I have no weapon, nothing, and I'm backing off. I'm like, dude, keep your distance, and he's still doing that. So you'll see in like shortly. I don't know if it happens, but like you'll see shortly, he'll start lunging at me with the bat, and I just kind of stand there. But a car pulls up on this side, which will come. He'll come into frame in a little bit, but a car comes up onto this side, and it's a Hispanic guy in the car. So my neighbor, they don't know each other, but my neighbor starts making friends with this guy in the car, and then starts telling me like, "Oh, this is, even though we don't know each other, we're both Hispanic, we're brothers. This guy's gonna kick your fucking ass along with me." And I'm like, just standing there, like just observing the situation, like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't know like how to perceive the situation or whatever at the time, but I'm just like standing there with my hands in my pocket, not doing anything. And still I'm like pointing, and he's still waving this bat around at me. I guess I'll get a sip of water. Yeah, so you see him coming at me with the baseball bat, like, we'll watch that over again. But you see him charging at me with the baseball bat. And I'm like, dude, leave me the hell alone. Like, I'm backing up. I'm like, leave me alone. And he has the phone in his hand. He's still waving the bat. He has the phone in his hand saying that he's on the phone with his girlfriend and she's a witness and blah, blah, blah. So then he goes back to the car, and I'm like, all right, I'm still standing there keeping my distance and everything. And I know he lunged at me like a couple times. I just want to catch that one part to show you guys. Yeah, see, so then he starts lunging at me, coming at me again. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? And I'm backing up and everything. I didn't even realize he doesn't have the baseball bat anymore. I should have fucking pulled the knife out again, because he's still coming out and threatening me. But so then there you go. Oh, apparently there's more of this. It's not over yet. I don't even know where. Oh, so this car is like inching forward now. And yeah, so he's coming at me still yet again. And I'm still backing up, backing up. And he's still like arguing with this guy, trying to convince me that that this guy should be on his side and blah blah blah. So now he finally goes in, I guess because he's like, I don't know why he went in. I guess because he's like, all right, he's thoroughly intimidated. Look how far away he is from me, or whatever. So then like I start talking to this guy, and he's like, oh, just like, meanwhile now there's cars coming out of the woodwork from like this guy in the car's like just like go back in your house, like leave him alone. I'm like, dude, this thing, like, I'm not shoveling snow onto his car, and he's just out here bullying and threatening me or whatever. So that's what like that conversation was about and everything. Yeah, So then I finish up shoveling snow and whatever, but I didn't really finish up shoveling snow because I still had to do like on the other side of the house some of the snow. Let me catch my breath, and if I call the police, I'll tell you what happened with the police. In crypto and make YouTube videos, do they know I would move man to be safe, quiet place? Oh, so about that, I don't know if my neighbor knows what I do for work or anything like that, but that definitely is like a concern of mine. Sorry if I'm crooked, I'm not a professional. That definitely is a concern of mine. Man, I'm sorry for this quality being so screwy. But yeah, that definitely is a concern of mine and everything. But it's like, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to back down and be threatened by bullies and all that stuff. Like, that just like terrible. Like, it's terrible in so many ways. So I called the police, and the police come and whatever. Good stuff, man. People like this need to be confronted and shut down, or else they just get worse. What sort of knife is it? Do I have it on me? Yeah. It's a Spyderco Street Bowie, so it's a 5-inch blade. Like, it's a decent size blade. But yeah. And it's very sharp too. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, the quality is so bad. I don't think there's anything I can really do with the quality other than stay still. Yeah, but at the same time, I did kind of back down when he pulled a baseball bat and still like kept coming for me and everything like that. But so maybe it was like maybe I should have been more aggressive or whatever, because I see like the people in grocery stores like chase out bad guys with the knife or with the broom or whatever. I probably should have been more aggressive, because that's how you fight bullying. Is like, people see it as like, oh, you're being the aggressive one, you're being the intimidating one now, but you have to be more aggressive and more intimidating to scare them off, you know? Like, just think like of those lizards that when they feel in danger, they pull out their neck gizzard things or whatever. Like, you have to come off as more scary, or else they're just gonna keep doing it. So I called the police, and like, I'm telling the police what happened, and the minute I tell them that I pulled out a knife, they're like, you need to be charged. Like, you can't just pull out a knife on people. You were in the wrong here. And I'm like, how was I in the wrong? Like, this guy was threatening me, and actually came out, like you saw in the video, came out aggressively and threatening to beat me up and vandalize my car and all this stuff. Like, I think I was well in the right to pull out my knife and get him to back down. Like, what the hell would have happened? Like, we would have kept arguing if I didn't pull out a knife and everything like that, or he would have, like, it would have went so much differently. Let me take a second to think what would have happened. Like, if I didn't pull out the knife, then he would have kept yelling at me and screaming at me and everything. He probably could have got close to me to push me or try landing a punch or something like that. I think maybe the courts wouldn't see, like, if I called the police and the police were like, oh, he just punched you, it's not that bad. Then, like, I think the police would probably see it that way, like, oh, he just punched you, it's not that bad. even though to me all initiation of violence and the use of force, all of it is equally as bad. Uh, so so I think me pulling out the knife definitely did make him keep the distance, and it did protect me from getting pushed or punched or anything like that. And he knows, I think, if he got close to me when I had the knife, like say that when I pulled out the knife, say that uh, I'd move to a better place. We in a bull run. Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm trying to wait out the bull run so that like I don't sell a ton of cryptocurrency uh, while the price is still going up. But what was I saying? Yeah, like me pulling out the knife, that means that he knows that he can't push me or punch me or anything like that, because now we're close to each other, and I can just reach in and pull out the knife and start stabbing when we're close. So uh, yeah, I forget where else I was going with this. So I had to like really argue with the police, tell them like, so I live in Pennsylvania, which is a stand your ground state, and which is 100% the right law to have, because like I said, you can't let people bully you, intimidate you, and walk all over you. That just lets them do it more and more. Uh, Yeah, so the police came and I showed them the camera footage and everything, and I had to argue with them and be like, uh, they tried telling me, like, oh, as soon as he came outside, you should have turned around and walked inside. I'm like, yeah, maybe that diffuses the situation, but that doesn't really help me with still shoveling the snow or anything like that. That just means I have to run away crying and not get done what I need to get done, and just still be more afraid of being in my house and everything, but or leaving my house, be afraid of leaving my house. So yeah, so eventually I convinced the police to forward the case to the DA's office. Uh, so let me get another drink and catch myself. Because I think I was arguing with the police like you guys would pull your gun out if someone started launching at you like he did to me. So you guys know, like you definitely know, oh, this quality is so bad. I'm so sorry. Uh, you guys definitely know that to need to pull out your gun when someone lunges at you and all that. Uh, so I finally convinced them to forward the police report and the case to the DA's office. Meanwhile, I'm already in contact with the DA's office for my gun charge, so I have their email addresses. Like, so it's the district attorney, and then there's a ton of assistants and district attorney's assistants and all that. I am already in contact with them and everything, so I'm thinking that maybe a good move is to forward them. Like I'm kind of thinking now, if the police were like, oh, you need to be charged, uh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm thinking about forwarding this video to the DA's office myself and asking for a meeting to explain everything, and asking for this guy to be charged, because like there's still brandishing a weapon. He definitely was brandishing a weapon. I don't think brandishing a weapon applies just to guns. Uh, he definitely was the aggressive person there. Like, so yeah, so I'm thinking about forwarding it to the DA's office, but I'm like, well, what if the DA charges me because they think that me pulling out my knife automatically means that I should be charged? Like, this is why, like, so I'm thinking about just asking the DA's office, like, will you please sit down with me and talk about this before you charge me? Because I don't want to go through another, it's already 8, 9 months since my gun charge where they falsely convicted me of lying on the gun form. Not convicted, falsely charged me with lying on the gun form. So I've been fighting this for like 8 or 9 months already. If they give me another false charge, it's gonna be another like year or whatever. Uh, that I have to face just because I pulled out a knife in self-defense. But yeah, I I emailed my lawyer. I just told him what happened. I wasn't like expecting a response or anything like that. Uh, I emailed my lawyer, but please get a defense attorney, man. You need to let a professional fight for you. Yeah, but then that's like just so much money that I have to put in, and they don't do as good of a job fighting for me as I do on myself because they don't make the arguments that I make. Because some of these arguments, it's like twisted around these days that a white person, sorry, that a white person defending themselves is automatically racist, and they don't want to be seen as the racist attorney. I think that's just like some of my assumptions, but it's mainly like these people don't do. I haven't met someone that actually fights for me and sticks up for me and everything in court. And I've spent like one hearing like a couple years ago. I spent $750 on a lawyer. He turns around and doesn't show up for my hearing on my hearing day. Doesn't answer like any of my calls beforehand. Doesn't show up on the hearing day and has his assistant represent me, who I've never spoken to. Doesn't like I'm not confident representing me or anything like that. It's worth it, bro. There's nothing you can say that a lawyer can't say in a better way for you. In my experience, it's not. That's not the case. I'm definitely better at defending myself than any lawyer that I found. I'm not saying that all lawyers are bad. I just haven't found a good lawyer that will actually stick up for me and defend me and everything. But if you guys want to put questions, I think we only have 5 people here, but I do kind of want to get going to eat dinner and everything, and I'll upload the full security camera footage right after I get done with this. But yeah, I'm gonna get going in a couple minutes. But yeah, I'm definitely like I wanna move to West Virginia and just buy a house that's like completely away from everyone. How's your M2? Everything's good on it. There's a oh, let me finish my thing. But so with these false gun charges, like I don't want to commute back and forth like 9 hours between here and West Virginia whenever I have hearings for the gun charge. I shouldn't call it gun charges, filing false statements on to purchase a gun on the gun form. But I think it probably is feasible for me to move now because a lot of stuff is being done over Zoom and over email and everything like that. So I don't really need to be here to defend myself in that case. But also, like I said, with the cryptocurrency prices still going up, I don't want to sell like a couple hundred Ether and then realize that the price doubled like the next day or a month later or whatever. So my M2 is good. There's snow tires on it. It handles well in the snow. As long as I'm like easy on the gas and everything, it's fine. There's a small dent, like a very small dent in the driver's side door, and I contacted a paintless dent repair guy who was going to come to my house and fix it. But he ended up not showing up. I don't know if it's because he's too busy or because the day that he was scheduled, we did have like a slight snowstorm. It was only like an inch or two. So I want to work outside or whatever, fixing my car. But also with that, I was telling a collision place about oh man, I think if I speak too much, like I'm not used to speaking, I'm usually just quiet in my apartment, but if I speak too much, maybe I get like the hiccups or just tired of speaking. But yeah, I was talking to a collision place about fixing some other stuff on the M2 because there's a spot on the door jamb where the seals are, like the door seals are rubbing into the paint and wearing off the paint there. So I brought up the pentless paint repair guy, the tentless paint repair guy, the pentless paint repair guy, to that collision place, and they're like, "Oh, we're looking for a good paintless dent repair guy because our current guy is like really mediocre. So like, have him come to our shop to repair your car. He can use our shop to repair it, and all that." But he didn't end up returning my phone call, so that's a thing that has to get resolved eventually. Right now I kind of have to put getting that dent repaired off to the side. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this. Just a short 36-minute live stream today. Thank you all for coming. I just wanted to tell you guys everything that happened and all that. All right, take care, guys. Thank you, and goodbye.